What's up, guys? It's Ryan here. Yes, it has been a while. I know damn well it's been a while. Like, it's almost been a month since I last made a video. But hey, at least I have a bear right next to me.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
As you can see from the title below, a topic like this is very touchy because of what type of creator Twomad was. But I'm making this not only because it's fresh, but to also alert you on the psychology and how a lot of things on a lot of creators. I obviously don't have a degree and I'm not Socrates, but these things based on his actions. And you will completely understand what I mean after the end of this video. On Valentine's Day of this year, Medea Sadiq was declared dead by LAPD after someone had asked for a welfare check the night before, which was Tuesday. The possible cause of death was an overdose in either fent or ketamine. Yeah, he definitely took Ket. The crazy part is that the way they knew this is because his Discord page showed that he was playing Overwatch. Not gonna lie, that's a crazy way to go out. He didn't change his active status for almost like a week. But one of the main things that actually stood up to me whilst doing some research about him and all the people that had interacted and knew him, because I don't know this nigga, they all said that as much as he made these serial tweets and made it look like he was someone who, and looked like someone who authentically didn't give a fuck, he was actually quite the opposite and was extremely socially inept. And as he viewed every single situation as a trap, to cope with that, he used the gaming, talking to people on the internet, and obviously drugs in order to hide who he genuinely was. Because to be honest, if you saw Twomad in real life and how he acted on stream or in videos, you would not be able to differentiate who was who. Because as a YouTuber, sometimes you have an act for most YouTubers, so you feel like you have to be a character in order to do certain things. Some do it well, some actually get mentally insane due to that. And because of the situation with Twomad, I believe because he was socially inept, he used social media and the internet as a means of finding purpose, of feeling like he belongs in this situation, and somehow he got rewarded financially for that. As I saw a video from J-Reg talking about the situation, because this has been going on for like the past 2 days, so but I had to do some research and look into other videos and other perspectives on this, and he had a claim that he did all of this as to feel like he had a sense in belonging to society.
I was probably within the top 20 people that knew Twomad, maybe even the top 10. And even then, I really didn't know him at all. I was not his friend. I tried many times to be his friend over the years and failed every time. I invited him to visit the community I'm building here in Toronto, and he considered it briefly before making up some excuse about how the Toronto airport was sketchy. And those were the last things we said to each other. I met with him one time for this video we did, and meeting with him was like pulling teeth. He said he was too busy playing video games alone in his room to hang out, even though I was specifically in the area to meet up with him. Beyond this meeting and some DMs before and after, this was the extent to which I personally knew Twomad. So again, I wasn't his friend. I'm not reflecting on this from the perspective of his friend. I don't know if he had any friends. It doesn't seem like he did. I told him many times the importance of having people in your life that love and understand you, and many times he brushed that off. I don't think he ever let anyone in. I don't think he ever let himself let anyone in, and the few people he did seem to try to let in had such deeply traumatic and troubling experiences with him that I don't think that he knew how to let people in. He told me during my interview with him that he was mute. In high school, he basically didn't know how to talk, didn't talk to anybody. And when he started posting online, which again was when he was a teenager with a developing brain, he found a way of feeling understood and finding a market for the way in which he was deeply strange. The way in which he was strange seemed to find an audience, and that strange pattern of behavior was encouraged both financially and socially. It made him fairly rich, it made him fairly well respected, but through it all, he was who he always was, a deeply strange and uncomfortable person with not a lot of self-awareness.
And that's why he became a serial tweeter. That's all he knew how in terms of communicating efficiently and effectively on how his mind was, because he could not really say a lot of things in private because he kept his circle very boxed. What happens is then he's like, you know, the only people around me that really care are either people that, you know, have subscribed to him or have, you know, given him a following. Because he has that following, he feels like he belongs somewhere. You know, he is rewarded financially for the following that he has, even though he is mentally not capable of really doing certain actions and certain things socially. I'm not talking about financially. I'm not talking about, of course, he may be funny, but mentally he is not mentally when it comes to social interaction. allegations, he was never able to really garner that and really grow in that, because he never allowed himself to, you know, from an individual perspective. And with that, it just created a lot of allegations, a lot of grooming and assault charges. But seriously, what is out here with YouTubers and grooming and shit? We got Twomad and Dream out here doing crazy numbers, Kobe and Shaq numbers out here, you know what I mean? That just, you know, he didn't really care that much. And for someone to not care that much and just tweet about it and say, oh, it didn't get enough likes for the grooming situation, it just felt like that was not okay. And he would just make like very blunt tweets, very disturbing Instagram posts. I feel like the internet had rewarded him, and he felt like he couldn't be stopped, he couldn't be touched, you know, he could just ignore every single controversy that was in his mind. In real life, he's socially inept. On the internet, he's a completely different person, but he could not differentiate which one was which, and it ended up messing his mental health. That's why he left YouTube for 5 months specific, because he had like 3 channels. You know, obviously a lot of people are making fun of him on the internet. I feel like he needed psychological help. He needed therapy. Like, people like him actually need therapy, because he chose to cut everyone from his life. At the end of the day, the people around you, you know, apart from his family, the people around you, the people that are giving you condolences are really not, because they're people who are never your friends. The only reason why people were around you is because you had financial giving, you had financial backing. He's one of those creators that were authentic, and that, I think that's the only good thing I can really say. But at the same time, it's also detrimental, because he was never socially aware at all, and that's what ended up being his demise. I never talked about Twomad, to be honest, because I felt like he was just like someone who was very odd. Making this video isn't like a sympathy video for him. Making this video is to make awareness the internet. And if you want to get into YouTube, if you want to get into YouTube, I would specify, have a niche on what you want to do. If you are socially inept and have problems, even if you didn't have those allegations besides you, I would recommend therapy. Mental health is such a deep thing and deep topic that's not talked about. I don't believe someone being a nuisance should mean that they should die. Even as a Christian, I believe that someone could be changed. If they are not willing to change, that is on them. Someone like EDP, he is not willing to change. That's why I don't give a shit about it. He was 23. He had all this time in the world to change, but because we live in this society, but because we live in this society where we feel like if someone had done something wrong 10 years ago, or like a couple of years ago, well, obviously this is not the situation of Twomad, but I'm just talking about in general, they garner something like death. I believe this was something that was more psychological than just like an ulterior motive. And if it was an ulterior motive, then that. I'm not sympathizing with Twomad at all. I'm saying it in this video. I do not sympathize with it. But apart from that, tell me your thoughts about the situation. Thank you for watching the video. Comment orange. I don't even fucking know. Thanks for watching. And until then, I'll see you again.
What do you say to the allegations that you're a white supremacist?
On the inside, yeah.